everybody. It's your girl, PJamma, with PJammaLyfe. And today, unfortunately, our buddy Pat may or may not be able to join us. And I know he's missing it because he's been waiting so long for the premiere of She-Hulk. And so, but we got our trusty sidekick here, 100% David. Say hey to the people.
Good evening. How is everyone tonight? What a fun, festive group of programs. So get your green beer, get your green eyeshadow perhaps. Get a touch of the Blarney as we talk about She-Hulk and all these others. We'll even tell you why we haven't been able to see BJ when we saw BJ and the Bear.
Oh, Lord. Okay, that is back in the vault with BJ and the Bear.
It absolutely is.
70s. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so let's take a look at we're going to give Pat maybe a little time to see if he'll join us. So let's take a look at the Netflix. I think he must have a contract with Netflix. The Chris Hemsworth movie, Spiderhead, on Netflix.
Right? These next ones aren't jokes, more just facts, okay?
Oh, yeah?
You're serving 4 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole.
Where you been?
Drug study?
Your presence in this facility, while technically a punishment, is a privilege.
But we have to know more about N40. It could be a game changer, Jeff.
It's all pretty much basic human feeling.
Time to worry about crossing lines was a lot of lines ago.
You know, there's a lot of movies about the evil pharmaceutical company. But David, what did you think of Spiderhead?
It really kind of brings you in. It starts off in a kind of a happy, almost fun respect, and then just keeps getting darker and darker in this. You really couldn't take your eyes off of it. Great performances by everybody in this. I enjoyed it much more than I anticipated, honestly. But I did think it was good. There's a lot of reasons to have questions about the pharmaceutical industry in this country and across the world. Mm-hmm. This prison program would have not passed an institutional review board. Those of you, of course, if you're familiar with the federal regulations pertaining to the protection of human subjects, also known as the Common Rule. And so lots of great stuff on that. So it wouldn't have fit that. We can go on. That's next week. We'll talk about that.
No, please.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But no, this was good. It was, Miles Teller, I thought did a nice job. You see Thor in a non-heroic role, and I think you've seen him in a few different things. He's trying to show some range. He's not just the hero. He's not just the pretty face. Everybody does a nice job in a scary, thought-provoking film. Pam, what about you? What are you thinking?
I maybe didn't like it as much as you. I thought there was something missing from it. I think there were some narrative elements maybe not quite developed in it. It was nice and short, though, but maybe for the first time, I would say maybe it was too short. I don't know. There was something missing from it. Maybe like explanations of the other inmates and characters that might have fleshed out that world a little more. But I just am not convinced of him as a bad guy. He's just too magnetic as a person. And one thing I was talking to the producer about was, you know how great actors, they can light up the room with a smile, or they can make you feel scared as a villain, and in the same person. But with him, I really don't get that bad guy vibe, like in the eyes or in the smile, like an evil kind of, demeanor. I just couldn't buy it. And but I thought Journey Smollett, she's always awesome.
Isn't she?
I
Yeah.
mean, just incredible. And this is a little role, but she sure made the most of it. And Miles Teller, it's good to see him back. And good to see him in some pretty decent. I mean, he was in Top Gun, so you know, that's a huge movie. And then he's in this little smaller one. But you can tell that Chris Hemsworth is trying to break out of his superhero kind of persona because he's taking these roles with what was that last movie we saw? It was another movie we saw, and he was kind of it was an alternative character for him. And then shoot, he's got another kind of role on a Netflix movie. So I think he has some kind of production deal going on with Netflix.
He must. He's got a few of them, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking to see a little better in the actual scripts. And I would love to see him get a role in an A24 production. Those are people who did Zola and Everything Everywhere All at Once, and you know, they just have some really interesting different kind of stuff. So I want to kind of see him in something really challenging and something really different. This one, he's not quite there yet for me, but I did appreciate the movie. It kind of reminded me of when we reviewed Old.
Oh.
And it's kind of a similar kind of storyline, but I'm all for it. So, you know, but, you know, I do work in institutional review board stuff, so I'm sitting there going, y'all could do this. This is all very illegal. You can't sign away your rights to your life. You know, they can't experiment on you till your life is gone.
That's what we think. That's what we hope.
You know, who knows what they're doing to prisoners. So, but yeah, I think it's something interesting. It's a different kind of take, and it's not long. So, you know, you won't, if you don't like it, it's not long. You don't have to worry.
It's not long. That's a PJammaLyfe kiss of death. It's not long. You got your day back. Ouch.
Well, at least I didn't say like Pat does, you know, that's 2 hours out of my life I couldn't get back. You know, it was fun, but definitely interesting and a different kind of ending. So check that out as well. So the Spiderhead, definitely good Saturday afternoon kind of flick. All right. Well, David, I think we have to talk about it. I think we have to start She-Hulk.
All right.
The next in the Marvel franchise. Where's she at? She-Hulk
Right
on Disney Plus. Let's take a peek.
This is a multi-year journey you're about to embark on coming to terms with being the Hulk.
You and I, we share a rare combination of genetic factors that allow us to synthesize gamma radiation.
Okay, you've analyzed everything. Now fix me.
Oh, thank you, but I just need to get cleaned up. I don't need you to put makeup on me.
Yes, you do.
This is good. My little baby genius is gonna be a district attorney
It's so
one day.
great, Jen. There is a reason why you were handpicked to go against GLKNH, okay? The leveling up is happening. This is good. Who the hell are you?
Jennifer Walters, attorney at law.
Top it off with a savage Jen Walters look.
What? I don't have a savage Jen Walters look.
There it is.
Well, what'd you think?
Well, I don't know if I loved it. I liked it, but I didn't quite love it. And I'm not sure why, because all of the elements were there, but it was just something, it needed more time. Maybe that's the theme of this week. I was surprised that it was only, 24 minutes? It's short. And I felt like there was a lot of the introduction that they didn't get to. and I believe now this is why we need our buddy Pat. He's the guru of all things Marvel. But I don't think she gained her powers this way. I think she gained it differently in the comics. So I was like, oh, that's different. But apparently gamma radiation in the blood, you could just like, okay, this is spoiler, so it was on since Thursday. You should watch it by now. The but if it gets on you and it sneaks in your skin, it sneaks in your body, that's it, your Hulk. I was just kind of like, huh? I don't, huh?
Yeah.
Is it a virus? It's a green virus that gets into you and attaches to your cells like that. But
in the second Hulk, the one with Norton, the
uh-huh.
Stan Lee little cameo, he drank some of that nasty, nasty soda that had the Hulk's blood in it and had to be taken to the emergency room. So I mean, we do have, just from the movies, we do have a little bit of a precedent that it has some effects on you. Now, we didn't see Green Stan Lee.
Yeah, but did it? I mean, is Ed Norton's Hulk like still Marvel? The Ang Lee one, I was like, what? So, but I think Tatiana Maslany, she's always awesome, gorgeous, and a fun character. And I did like how the two of them just yelled at each other. Her and Bruce Smart Hulk were like, rah, rah. Just like, what is this? And you got some back kind of story about the Hulk and Tony, and you see how much they're missing, you know, him and Captain America, and it's still kind of a like a hole in Banner's life. And so they were his two best friends. And so now it'll be interesting to see if they integrate him into the show more, or if he's just gonna pop in every now and again.
Right.
Because the villain, I was like, what? What is this villain? Just, I mean, it was like somebody coming in on the People's Court unexpected. I mean, it was just dumb. But that part, I was like, they didn't explain why. They didn't explain who. They didn't explain what. And I was like, this is not like Marvel. I mean, usually they give you a whole bunch of explanation. So, and she looked really dumb. And the villainess, I was like, what? It just didn't make sense. So I'm waiting for it to kick in and make sense. What do you think, David?
You know, I found I liked it more than you. Just based on what you're saying. It did go fast. I would have liked to have seen more.
Right.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was well written. I thought it was creative. I love the interactions with Hulk, and kind of trying to explain and bring some of the rest of us up to speed. Whereas you can be a smart Hulk, and we're seeing some things with her now. I don't know. Obviously, I'm nowhere near the expert that say Pat is on the Marvel stuff by any means. It did seem to indicate that in canon, she was always a little bit more aware and cogent than, you know.
And accepting. I remember in the comics, she was very accepting because she was like, oh, check me out. Check out this body, yaddy, yaddy. She loved it.
Very different. A very different approach.
That part I didn't like. That was maybe the part, because I loved her confidence in the comics about her being the She-Hulk. She was like, I'm everything. Check me out, you know?
Yeah. I think the one thing that I didn't like was breaking the fourth wall, because it's kind of been looked, it's 24 minutes, so it's more like a sitcom length.
Yeah.
And like The Office, like Modern Family, like Abbott Elementary, we're having people, she stops and talks to the non, doesn't necessarily mean it's like a sit down interview like a documentary, but she's breaking that fourth wall in a what's his name, Deadpool-esque way. It's fine for Ryan Reynolds. I didn't like it for this. That's
Yeah.
that's my biggest criticism
Yeah.
with this aspect. Could have liked more to learn about the villain, I agree, but maybe if it's just like a one-off kind of, kind of like a set the stage deal, I get why they didn't. I think there was something else. It'll be curious to see how people react to this.
Yeah.
Is there is clearly, it is spoken from a woman's point of view. In many ways, it is a
Yeah.
single woman professional's point of view.
Yeah.
And and I think there was a little bit of, some people felt might have like, oh, why is, it seems a little anti-men, which I did not think that.
Anti-men.
I saw that, like, hey, as soon as it came out, I started to hear it and some of that. There was some chatter there online about that. And to me, I rejected that position just because if someone feels like, well, that's a terrible way to look at men or whatever, it's like, keep listening to what she's saying and why she's saying it, so that if you're feeling bad about that, maybe you shouldn't do that.
Exactly.
Don't explain things to people when they don't need to be explained. Don't try to overshadow people for whatever reasons. But I think, in some respects, I think it will be deceptively educational, and I think it will be entertaining. Don't like the fourth wall.
Yeah.
It is kind of funny, and I think they've made a joke about it, but I think it's probably close to canon how she was able just to, again, be her world and be a Hulk, as opposed to the brooding, that forlorn music from the Hulk TV show and things and all of those challenges. A lot of fun. Can't wait for the next episode. Would like to see them longer.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a really entertaining show, a little bit funnier than some of the others. I think.
Oh yeah.
My purpose.
Oh yeah.
And
Definitely
I enjoyed this. I'm glad we're going to have some episodes. Yeah. Marvel did it again.
Yeah. Well, and I like that you brought up the point about guys not liking, or it's anti-men. But that speech she talked about, I mean, it's true. Women do have to sit up there, put up with some guy trying to explain to you something you're expert at. Walking down the street not feeling safe because guys are calling out these, they think it's cute and funny, but if you don't know somebody, that's not funny or cute. And then women just are murdered just for some guy just wants what she has, she don't want to give it, gets murdered. So,
if you're offended by it, it's because you're feeling guilty about it, and you should stop.
Right.
I mean, this is honestly, but this is a really, if you're listening, what you should do, man, it's like, okay, this is how you need to behave, because people should be able to stand and wait for a ride, and they be safe. Right. People don't need to be objectified by strangers. And it's a scary world. Threatened, absolutely.
That was a real threat to her that.
Well, 4 or 5 to 1. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
For anybody.
Yeah. You're just trying to get home, and I had this guy say I was walking, and he's like, "Hey, smile," and I'm like, "No." I don't know you. I mean, there's all these things women should do, and I was doing a show, and a guy complained about a woman who is a lesbian, who is kind of male-facing lesbian, and was like, well, she wasn't very ladylike. That's the point. We don't have to be ladylike. We don't have to accept, somebody's advances. And so there is this level of, there's a low level of rage in a lot of women that doesn't get expressed. So it'll be interesting to see how they address this in the show. And maybe there'll be some other things. So thank God for the Me Too movement that allows us to have these discussions now, where 20 years ago, somebody would have slapped her on the butt and been like, oh, come on, take it easy, honey. I mean, so, yeah, definitely check out She-Hulk on Disney Plus, and it's on Thursdays. I thought that's kind of a break in tradition for them too, not premiering something on Wednesday. So it's gonna be on Thursdays.
Come
Must
back
see
for
TV.
more. And they do show, they bring back the Abomination from Hulk 2. So that actor. So he is in it. So get your legal hats on. Say hey to Judge Wapner and Rusty. I love the People's Court reference there. But I'm stoked to see this. This was a lot of fun. It's a great way to end the summer. I think on a real high note.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I think it's 8 episodes.
Something like that.
We'll get 4 hours of fun. So okay, next up is the Hulu show about cooking and chefs and the life of being in a fast-paced restaurant environment. Let's check out The Bear.
The Bear.
Time to try the new sandwiches behind corner.
Yo, this shit looks different.
This is not how we have ever done a beef here in 25 years.
Housekeeping means you have to clean your stations because this place is fucking gross. I refer to everybody as chef because it's a sign of respect, and I never said I couldn't figure out the spaghetti. I said it doesn't make any sense on this menu, so it is done. The end. What's UPS? That's in Chicago, or?
United Parcel Service.
What'd you do for them?
Drove. Paid my way through culinary school, so.
CIA?
CIA, yeah.
Okay, so what are you doing here?
What'd you think?
Oh, no, I enjoy this. This was something really different. I didn't expect it at all, what I got. And I was just like the best plate of food from a restaurant you go into for the first time. It was delicious. So it was heartbreaking and funny and different, and people you loved and people you were like frustrated with and like what, and you saw growth from all the characters. So it was just really something that I think everybody should watch. It's not ha 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 funny kind of show, because it deals with very serious issues, but they do it in a funny, unique way. And I saw that one of the executive producers was Hiro Murai, who also did Atlanta. And that's why you could see, you also saw some of the characters from the Community. Joel McHale was in it, and I think a couple of other people from the show. And it just had that same kind of cadence. It's very different than Atlanta, but dealing with issues in an environment you wouldn't expect to deal with the kind of issues that they dealt with. So Chicago plays a big role in it, the city, and the Italian American community, and but it's about family and loss and dealing with anxiety and depression, and but being excellent at what you do, but coming home to family and having to pick up what your family situation is. So it was just interesting, man. I hope it gets a second season. I can see if it doesn't, it's like an amuse-bouche.
What now? What did you say?
Amuse-bouche, which means a beautiful bite, like a perfect bite, a little food. So this show is the amuse-bouche of TV shows. What did you think?
Well, I'm going to go a different way. I would have called it an whoosh, like when you push the button down at the toilet and say, because man,
Oh,
whoosh. I
you
did
didn't like
not,
it?
I was not a fan of this
Oh,
show.
come on,
I did
man.
not like it. I don't
Ah,
want to know how the sausage is made. I don't
ah.
want to know what goes on in the kitchen because I'm eating the food. I'm being
Yeah.
a little harsh with it, but
Oh,
you
man.
know what? It started off with a suicide, and it just went. Oh, I, there's too many reality shows about food. I think that I've seen and all, and it's just, eh. Um,
Oh, man. Come
uh,
on, though.
Favreau did a movie about a great chef who found his way back running a food truck that I absolutely loved. So thinking about food shows and all
Oh, was
that
that
was a lot
Chef?
more fun.
Was it
What's that?
called Chef John Favreau?
It was five. Yeah, it might have been
Yeah.
Chef. Now that
Yeah.
I love that. I got behind that. John Leguizamo was in that. It was fantastic. Um, I just couldn't get into this show. I love Chicago, so there's an aspect of that I was maybe a little surprised, maybe not to embrace as much. It just, I
Oh,
just couldn't
come
get into it.
on. Oh, David, how
Whoosh,
could you not like it?
whoosh.
It was just, it's hard to watch at times. Now, because the
Maybe that's what
subject
it is.
matter is heavy, right? But I thought there were so many moments of levity and like funny stuff happening that it kind of, like the best dish. You got the acid based with the sweet. And so, you taste it and you're like, oh, wow, yeah. I don't know why they put those things together, but it works. That's just how I felt about the show.
Right.
I just use a lot of food analogies.
There you go. Well, me, I took a couple of swigs of some Pepto Bismol, and I'm ready
No,
on for She-Hulk. Get my
no,
Tums out if I have to watch a season 2.
no.
Maybe I'll feel different about it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a fun PJammaLyfe if we didn't have some diametrically opposed opinions. So get your Pepto Bismol out, get your
Uh,
Tums, some saltines if you want
I
to watch this
challenge you
program,
to go
everybody.
back and watch it, though. Just challenge. Now, I will say, I didn't understand the ending. So if somebody's out there and they understand the ending and what happened, tell me, because I'm still trying. But isn't that the best TV shows, the best movies? Leave you still thinking about it days later and going, what did he do? Why did he do it? What is happening? Is it going to be another season that they answer that question? I still don't know what KBL means. So I'm still trying to figure out.
It reminds me, I hear what you said. It reminds me, though, of the famous last words of the great philosopher Socrates, who said, I drank what?
Oh, God.
Bad. Hey, a bad joke worthy for a bad show. Bad show. Get the Pepto out, man.
Definitely, if you love something different and interesting and quirky. Now, if you like ham sandwiches with a bag of Lay's and a cookie every day, it might not be for you.
Maybe
But
not.
if
Gee,
you
I wonder
like
where you pulled that one out, friend.
potatoes with a lamb ragu, then definitely, and a Chicago beef, definitely check out the Bear. It
Go
makes
to
sense
Memphis.
to me.
Go to Memphis and order a ham sandwich plain and ask if you can get a sugar cookie for dessert with a little 2% milk. That's what you need.
The David special.
It is. It was the David special. But I got to tell you, on Beale Street, everything stopped when I said, can I just get a plain ham sandwich?
Oh, my
The
God. I
music
cannot
stopped. The
believe
room
that you
went
would go
quiet.
on
You
Beale
want a what?
Street and say, can I get a ham sandwich? That's
Plain.
all.
No barbecue, just plain. Bag of Lay's potato chips and a sugar cookie. That got me through public education from 1977 to 1989 with a couple of field trips to Chi-Chi's or something special.
I'm just, my heart and my culinary taste buds are just sad right now. So I say, check it out. You gotta check it out. Check out The Bear. Take it home. Digest it. Your tummy and your taste buds will be pleased. Okay, so
upset stomach, indigestion, diarrhea.
No. Definitely next week we have some really good stuff, people, because it's finally here after that travesty of the ending of Game of Thrones. We're gonna get the House of the Dragon that premieres tomorrow night on HBO. I think at 10 o'clock, so definitely check it out, 9 or 10 o'clock. Well, at least Eastern time. And then we're going to also review the finale, and we're going to review the whole season of Only Murders in the Building, and we're going to continue on with She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. So, David, come to the end. You got any good wishes for the people out there?
Enjoy what is left of summer. Have a great time. Take a little bit of time and watch some of these shows, but if you can't, we'll tell you what to watch when you can. So long until next week, everybody.
And definitely, if you can, take a moment out for yourself to just get some fresh air and take time to spend with those you love. And hopefully, that's us. So we'll see you next time on PJammaLyfe. Hey, Tim Windsor, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.
So long, everybody.